Hi creative friends, this is Freya and thank you so much for being here. So this is my color journal and I'm just going to do a quick flip through. This one here is a neutral dominated page and this is my cover. This is a cool blue dominated page. This one is a hot orange, red, kind of yellow dominated page. This one is the spread I did a few days ago, and it started off with me thinking I wanted to go full on pink, and then it turned into magenta. And I did fix the lips on this figure. It was bothering me, and I really love the way it turned out. I love the magenta with all the neutrals, the Payne's gray. I'm just really digging this whole entire spread. And what I'm going to do here is I am going to go with greens. And I love greens, I really do, but I'm really gonna have to fight the urge to not dominate with blues. Now, I did put some sage green over here, and I have this kind of a deep, it's a blue-green deep, and it's much darker than this one, but then I also put this big plop of ultramarine blue here, and ultramarine is one of my all-time favorite blues. So like I said, I'm gonna try to stick to the greens, and I am gonna use a little blues to just, you know, kind of balance out the greens a bit, but I'm really gonna do my best to not go full on blue, you know, because this is like a color experimental type of journal, and so I just want to kind of just try out different things and not fall back on what I gravitate towards. So I'm just gonna do a quick sketch here, and like I said, because this is all about color, this journal, I'm not really so concerned about, you know, the images as much as I am about the colors. Now I kind of want this to be the neck here, and this is going to be a bit of a, like, it's going to be a bit difficult here, but let's just see what we can do. See, I want to keep this part as the neck. Okay, there we go. And I think over here I'm gonna do another figure, and usually I like to do threes, but I don't have a lot of room. This isn't a very big journal, so I think what I'm gonna have to do is like place a sun or some small thing over here just to kind of like give it that, you know, bit of interest with threes. With two objects or figures or whatever, it's just too balanced and it's just not interesting enough for me. And you know, that is a common thing in when you're designing your composition, is to go with odd numbers rather than even numbers. So now I'm gonna do something a bit strange here, but I'm kind of feeling it. I want to keep this part of the collage, I want to keep it, I don't want to cover it up. So if I make the neck come down here, it's going to cut all of this off. So I'm just going to make like a weird type of figure where the shoulders are, you know, I'm going for, like I said, this is a color experiment book, so I'm not so concerned about like the way the figures look. So it's kind of like more, I don't know, I guess you could say fantasy kind of situation kind of going on there. So I'm happy with my, you know, with my composition. And so now what I'm going to try to do is bring in some of my greens. Now my first inclination, honestly, is to go for the blues. And like I said, I am going to really try hard not to go with what I know. And, you know, I'm just going to say, hey, let me just try Let me just try this light green here, which I really love, by the way. It's a beautiful green. And now, one of the things, and I've mentioned this before, is that, you know, I really love all these luscious burnt sienna kind of colors here. And, you know, I put tea bags on these pages. So I love all that. But when I have too much of it, then none of it stands out. So by me, you know, neutralizing the background, because even though this is a green, I'm pulling some of the black Stabilo into the green, so it's neutralizing it. And that's going to make the colors, the warm colors, stand out so much more. Because when everything is popping, then nothing is popping, if that makes sense. It needs some contrast to really showcase its beauty. And I don't know if I want to keep the same green. That would seem a little bit boring to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix some of this darker green here. And I really love this green. It is a blue green deep by Dick Blick. And so I'm kind of getting my fix of blue a little bit. Not really, but it leans towards the blue. So, and here we go. And I really love how it's picking up on the black from the Stabilo. I'm just loving that kind of grungy kind of a feel to it here. And I'm just gonna cover all of this. And this is just my first layer, so, you know, when it's dry, I can absolutely come in and add more stuff. But for right now, I'm just gonna kind of get some juicy marks going here. And I think what I want to do is, I think I'm gonna go for blue faces. I knew I was gonna just lean into the blues here at some point, so I'm gonna just test it out, you know, just kind of see what happens. So what I did is I mixed some of the sage green with this ultramarine blue, and I got this blue over here. So I'm just gonna test this out here and just see what kind of a vibe I get. And I'm really loving it, actually. I don't know. This is a bit out of my comfort zone. But you know, I'm just gonna go with it, see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna leave this and let that dry because it's getting a bit messy because all of this Stabilo is wet. So I'm not gonna mess with it right now. And I think over here, what I'm gonna do is, let me see. I don't know. I was gonna put the burnt sienna, but I'm just gonna hold off on that for right now. And what I'm going to do is just get some of my ultramarine blue, and I'm gonna work this dress over here. I'm just gonna use my fingers and smush it in. And like I said, this journal is like an experimental color journal. So I'm just, you know, seeing like, hey, does this work? Does this color palette work? Do I like it? How about the ratio of colors, etc. So I'm just gonna kind of get totally abstract with the face there. And okay, so this is not my usual palette, you know, but I'm just gonna allow this to dry, and then I'm gonna come back to it, and you know, we'll kind of see what I want to keep, what I want to leave. But if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.